I'm still excited to see what he can do, what he can prove, if that was not his finest work.
A lot of similar champions hitting the ban list. One thing to note is Yunara was available last game, but will not be available in this game. So last time around, EDG banned out Azir, and then we saw an Annie ban. So right now, it's either Azir, Annie, or Poppy. And if either of them bite the dust, well, we'll see. To see Trundle get taken away. So the mid laner is being left a little bit more open here, Docda.
Yeah, we got options. I wonder, is it going to be Corki, Azir, Orianna? We haven't seen Orianna yet, to be fair.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. She's in the meta too.
Oh, good. Oh, thank goodness. I was
she's my favorite.
Worried
she's like one of my favorites.
An Orianna Syndra meta.
We don't see Syndra.
Really?
Yeah, Syndra nowhere really to be found.
What happened?
I think she's.
What happened to?
I recall she was played like one time, kind of recently, but I think that was it.
Back in my day, it was the Syndra Vlad LeBlanc, was it? Like trifecta? No, it was the Syndra Vlad and Ori that was like the trifecta.
Yep.
That was like Syndra beats Ori, Ori beats Vlad, Vlad beats Syndra. Bring it back. Bring some Vlad in general. What's going on there?
No, absolutely not. I don't want to see that champion.
We can't be V1.
Yeah, bro, it's a sick B1. It's so good.
R4, dude. What are you saying?
No, bro, it's such a sick B1. If Gwen's not available, this is what you pick. You pick a giant meatball in the top lane that does fine in the heads up against Ambessa, and if you want a 2v1, you can send your Scion to the 2v1. He'll do just fine. Then Ambessa will suffer. We're gonna also see the Galio get locked in. So I already really like what I'm seeing out of LGD, because already we're looking to get some dive in and really follow it up with a Galio. I think EDG, very wise to that, will take the Kaisa.
I'm just saying, like, if they B1 a Scion, like, I'm trying to think what I wanted to say I was Windmill Slam Jax, but I'm actually pretty sure it's an atrocious matchup for him. But like, oh no, it's okay. It's like, surely if they pick a Scion, are we not just picking like Gangplank and just saying, okay, Migo scale?
I can't remember the last time I've seen that champion.
Migo scale? Like, I would say the Ambessa Scion, I saw the potential in the last set, but needless to say, there was a bit of a diff. You were versus the Shy, not much you can do. I am much more preferring this comp from LGD around the Ambessa, because before, you know, I was saying Ambessa, she dives, but she's not really engaged, and she's not really an assassin. She's just kind of there. Now you have Galio and Vi to go with her. That's a real engage. And I was wondering, you know, when we were saying about no one else really fills that gap that Silas does, the closest you're going to get is Galio. But even then, he's like you could just play a normal tank mid. You could play Ornn mid if he wasn't, you know, taken away from Fearless here. So the Galio does fit it. It's a sick comp. I like it. There's a lot of pressure, though, on LGD, because if they're committing that, okay, we want XQW on like a bruiser or a tank, or we want him in there, I don't think there's a third one. If you lose this game, I'm not sure what you're pulling out in game 3. So, you know, they're trying to get this one done in a quick and dirty 2-0. We'll see if that's going to be if that's going to, you know, be a possibility for him here.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the options are going to be here for LGD, because, you know, we talked about that Kaisa getting taken away. That's the best dive AD carry to go with you, right? So, you know, I think anything else might be a little bit too low damage. And the problem is there are some really good champions that are great at diving, like Samira and Nyla, but you won't see those. Now, the Kalista will make a lot of sense if they want to lock this one in. All right, let's hear it.
It's Galio support.
It could be.
Because I'm saying, why did we ban Poppy versus Alistar when we have first pick? We could just pick Poppy support. And clearly they have a Kaisa, and they want someone to dive in with that. And so we've banned the Nocturne, but Jarvan is still available, and I feel like Nocturne, Jarvan, and Vi are like the only 3 that can really do that. So I'm thinking, why, if we're banning Nocturne, we don't want them to have someone who can dive. But we have left Jarvan open, and we've banned Poppy, even though it's a pretty hefty counter bot lane. But it's Galio support, which also counters the Alistar very nicely, and combos really well with Kalista. Lock it in. It's just Orianna mid or something here that can that can enable the wombo combo, because we have okay, here's the thing, we have this combo, right? We have you know, Ambessa going in, Vi going in, Galio going in. None of them do damage, and Callista is not going to be the one to push it over the line, especially if it's like lethality Callista. Maybe don't do it. I've locked in so much.
I would not pick the Thresh here.
No, he's
I love
baiting.
Thresh.
He's not picking
Give me
Thresh.
Renata. Yep, Renata. This is the right pick. This is the perfect pick here. It's the
really
lane counter. It's the lane counter. It stops whatever engage EDG want to throw at you. And if you catch on with it, On's going to rip his own damn team apart.
I was so close. I thought, okay, he's hovering Thresh because he's going to change to like Karma. It actually wouldn't matter at all. He's going to change to like Karma or Nico
that'd be
if she was
brutally
available.
awful.
And then it's like a bait because he's going to change to something that looks like a mid laner, but then they're actually going to play... He's going to change something that looks like a support, but they're going to play that mid, and they're going to play Galio support, and that doesn't make any sense because it was the R5 pick, so there's no real baits coming out there. I'm now, again, a little worried because, well, for what I've just outlined, like, where's the damage here? That if the Ambessa is behind, I think there's a lot of trouble here because, you know, the Vi...
I agree.
Vi does as much damage as she does. I was the GOAT of Vi back in Season 7, let it be known. I've played, like, I think it was 120 games in a row of just Vi. Ran it straight up to D1, I think. D2 or D1. It was sick. Nothing else. Let's go. The thing with Vi is she does as much damage as she does. I was getting bottom damage every single game because she Qs, so she's going to Q or ult in, she's going to do like auto E auto, and that's it. There's no extra. She has like just single target. She hits one person until her rotation is done, and then she walks away and either does it again or dies. And Callista is kind of similar. I'm not in love with trying to get through Alistar, Skarner, and Sion as a hyper carry Callista, you know, because Callista's not a hyper carry. She's a very early game centric champion, and even if she had like Gwynsu's Kraken and Hurricane, she's still not really going to get through those guys. I'm a bit worried because she's got lethal tempo, so that's not, you know, the Hail of Blades Q max lethality lane bully option. And the Galio is also not really doing a huge amount. Maybe I've tried it a few times to go like Riftmaker Galio and stuff. I've never really felt it. It feels to me like everyone here just does a little bit of damage, but not that huge amount. And the person who can push the whole team over that threshold is going to be the Ambessa. So I want to see a lot of action up in this top lane from Climate and Sasi. I want to see her ahead because she's the one that can actually just... I think that every fight that LGD, they go in and they do like 80% of what they need to. But the only person that can get them that last 20% is Sasi.
Alrighty, bud. I'm going to blow your mind with this one. Okay. Are you ready for AP Callista?
Not quite.
Well, you should be ready for it because I think this might be an AP Callista game.
Does she have a single AP
scaling?
Oh,
brother,
like the W.
Brother,
isn't the W AP scaling?
They had a recent change to her E, her Ren.
Oh, grow up.
No, brother. It actually does a lot. It does quite a bit of damage. Now, it's only on the Ren that it actually deals more damage, but it's about 15, like 9 to 15 extra damage a Ren stat.
Magic!
So there have been a lot of Callistas who are going Rage Blade into Nashers, Riftmaker, or Rabadons. This is a real thing, bro. And I'm actually kind of hoping to see it because I haven't really had an opportunity to watch it in action.
I'm reading the numbers. It's 65% AP, which isn't bad, but it's about the same as the AD. It is physical damage, which is questionable because I was thinking, ooh, maybe you could build Magic Pen, and then because it's the W passive is magic damage, that doesn't actually scale, it's just flat magic damage. But also I think what might be the crazy part is that the slow scales pretty well with AP as well. And so that thing turns into a stun at one point. Okay, I'm convinced. But like so it's Gwynsu's, it's Nash's Tooth, and then you're out of items.
No, you're going Riftmaker, you're going Rabadons, you're going Sonya's. Like, there are options. Riftmaker is really, really good on it.
Wait, yeah, Riftmaker, it's like, it increases physical damage, right? Yeah, like
Riftmaker increases just
it's
damage.
10%? Yeah, it's just all damage is what I mean.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it doesn't matter that renders physical because once it's stacked, you go, okay, I see the vision.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. You know, we got to get there. Who knows? Savior, the first item he might go outside of Rage Blade might end up being, you know, like Blade of the Rune King or Runeans or something normal as he stands up and blocks the W from killing the cannon, and -1 for On, as that is pretty tough. Now, one thing we haven't talked about really are these junglers, and the clearing that they're going through. Everything seems to be on the up and up here. Nothing too crazy, but you know, wanting to hit level 6 on both of these junglers, very, very big.
Oh goodness, are they going for the dive here? Packers alone. Oh no, TP. Parukia keeping the wave off the turret. Genius move. Could have been insanely dangerous if Climber was stood 3 feet to the right and was able to queue in instead of having to just take the recall there. Xiaohao blows a couple of cooldowns there with a bit of energy. Does get spotted out, and that is going to delay him. You know, now Xiaohao's taking about a 10-second delay on the reset there, so you can see that Climber back out already at Krugs, whilst Xiaohao is sitting in the fountain. So, you know, a bit of a tempo lead there, and given that Climber is now clearing down topside, if there's any champion that's famous for soloing Drake, it's Vi. Getting that one nice and early, and it's also a Cloud Drake. Very squishy. The quickest one to kill, and you think everyone sends all their resources up top lane, they're doing this lane swap, and then boom, Vi just randomly solos Drake.
Yeah, we're gonna see Sasa teleport down to the bottom side, so LGD is smart to do whatever they can to make sure that Sasa is not in a 2v1. Keep him in a 1v1, because as you mentioned earlier, the damage is a little questionable on LGD, where it's going to come from. So making sure that your Ambessa is alive and well, very, very important.
Okay, I was going to say his savior actually bonded with Ambessa, because not with Renata, because that would be really funny if the aim was to put it on next to W and have your Kalista solo lane at some points. But no, it is on the Ambessa, that will, on the Renata. That will get her out and about. I will note that the Renata ult goes crazy with this team fight in terms of setup, but in terms of damage, if it's doing damage, something's gone wrong, because that means that Arn is strong. But you know, it could work here as CW. This is what I'm saying about Galio. Whenever I play him, I feel big, and then it's just like, oh, this didn't really do any damage, and I'm taking a lot, and my cooldowns are long. As is the benefit of whatchamacallit? Ambessa. Crazy that I say Ambessa instead of Renata 5 times when I can't say it for Ambessa. One of the reasons you'll see her picked into Sion often, not only the dashes, but she has % health damage, short cooldowns. It's really easy to break his shield, which is a lot of Sion's damage early on. And so it makes it a little bit harder for these trades, but you know, ZDZ, he's got 3 biscuits still. He's kind of chilling. He can sort of just sit back and only hit the waves. And it's going to be very important that Sasi can get something done when you finish that first item. As you're not going to get a lot done in the lane versus Sion, but you're not going to get punished either. It's just, against I don't get it, because you're not really scaling on Ambessa. I mean, you are a little. Like, this could just be like, you know, Gangplank or Vlad or you know, Vayne top, whatever. It doesn't matter. But instead, it's Ambessa. But who's to say?
Shifting around quite a bit here. So we see the Aurora now up in the top side. It gets a little bit harder to shove out the Galio as he gets more health, more magic resistance, and you know, we'll be fine in the 2v1 for right now, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to get any sort of push. We're going to see some recalls coming out from both bottom lanes here. Looks like we're going to see them redeploy onto mid lane, at least on the side of EDG. 7 minutes into the game, and all's been quiet. This dragon started and stopped at one point. Now we have 50 seconds until the Void Grubs, and I mean, honestly, if you can get them for Sasa, you can go pick them up for the Ambessa, have a good time in the side lane. That'll be pretty great. I do wonder if LGD is a little timid when it comes to potentially fighting, due to the fact that they're not really going to be strong during the first potential fight.
Yeah, it's weird. So we didn't get the Drake. It wasn't picked up. So now you see that, yeah, the ADs of the bot lanes have swapped into mid so that we can play for both objectives. In terms of the early fights, I'm not sure, but the Void Grubs are very important, because everyone says that Void Grubs is like, oh, that's the split push buff. You want it on your split pusher. You want it on your Fiora or your Tryndamere or Jax. No, you don't want it on your Gwen. I mean, it's nice. But the people who really benefit from having Void Grubs, because it's a flat amount of damage, is the people without damage who want to be in those side lanes. For example, Shen is a man who, I think now his Q hits turrets. They patched that one in, but for a long time, you had no damage on a turret. And similarly, if you're a Sion without Demolish, I'm not sure if CDZ has it, because I haven't seen the little things on the floor. it helps a lot. If you're an Ambessa who has, you know, on-hit damage,
a big flash
knockup.
Hang on. They're going to turn on
he's
Parukia,
in.
but guess what? They found On. He's got a flash away. Galio joins the fray, but doesn't have his ultimate left over. All of these grubs are going to reset. Angel's coming in from the side, missing a lot of mana, missing a little bit of health. Still waiting for Sion to get there. So they're going to turn on to Parukia. Parukia's going to go down for the first blood. Big Impale going to go down on 2 members, and one of them is going to bleed out. XQW is going to be the other one cleaned up. Now we're down to a 4v3. Good handshake, and Sasi gets to the back line, and he finds On. Angel's completely cut off, has no mana. Xiaohao is going to flash away, but Savior's in hot pursuit, but now he's stuck and slammed into the wall, and Sasi's the last one standing. He's going to chase down Xiaohao, but he's stuck in a 2v1 that he knows he can't win. ZDZ flashing after him. Angel's got no mana, but you have the auto attacks, the 3-hit passive, and the last one Angel will claim.
Oh my gosh, I don't think, yeah, Sasi didn't have the Eclipse. If Sasi has the Eclipse there, it's a different 1v2, but he's only just picked that one up off the back there, and that's a lot of kills going on over to Aurora. So let's see, a lot is burnt from LGD, and we don't get enough. So here it is, you have the big engage coming in from the Vi. Ambessa does not take the opportunity to throw, I don't know, maybe she's out of range, but Vi Galio comboing the ults, and then it's kind of over. It's like, that was kind of our big thing, and we didn't really use it. We got cooldowns, but we didn't really use it. And sure, we're engaging onto Parukia, that's nice, but Xiaohao's doing a bit too much work there. Whilst the Aurora damage is coming out, you know, we're inside the Aurora zone. It's just, the initial thing didn't work. LGD get a little bit confused, and then whilst that's happening, EDG can just come in and capitalize real nice. Even just moments like before this, you see that we're a little grouped, and 2 people tank the big rock from the Skana, and early on, that matters a lot. That's a lot of damage there. It just seems LGD, they just lost it a little bit once the fight did not go according to plan. So I gotta be careful of that one, because now you've got a very scary Aurora to deal with. Is about to finish up her first item.
There is still a very scary Ambessa on the other side who now has 3 kills. So Sasa, listen, they said the game was going to be on his shoulders. They said the game was going to be on his shoulders, and it looks like it certainly will be. And given the fact that he is decently far ahead at this point, obviously Angel a little bit further, it is up to him to carry LGD to a 2-0 victory and continue EDG's rapid crumble, as the grubs have been started up once again with EDG picking up all 3 of them, it looks, without any contest.
Yeah, that's again just very nice to have for your side laners. Even like Aurora is side laning, she does a fair bit of AP, but when you're getting effect items, you know, sort of as we're seeing here with the Haunting guys, if you want to get things like Bloodletters or Malignants, you know, Leandri's Riftmaker, all this, you don't get that much AP, so your autos don't do that much damage to the turrets. So it's just nice that if you're going to potentially be in a 1-3-1 situation, you can just threaten the turret a little bit more. That one's picked up, that's another stack towards those their feats. And we can carry on towards the Herald when it spawns to try and get a few more points there, because it doesn't look like either team will be getting this here first blood turret anytime soon. I don't know. I mean, every time I love me some Skana. Every time they build Heartsteel in jungle, I'm like, are we really going to be able to stack it? Are we really getting a lot? But having seen this game so far, we're going to get a couple of stacks on that Skana jungle right there. So we'll keep an eye on those, as Xiaohao might end up with more health than ZDZ after just a couple of fights. Again, LGD don't really have damage to get through a tank right now, and what that's saying to me is that Xiaohao, we saw how long he lived in the last fight. He's going to be able to get 5 autos off on 5 people there. And finally, I have noticed Savior, unfortunately, did have a Vamp Scepter earlier on. Didn't fully clock what that meant. It means it's a blade. So no AP yet.
Lame. Listen,
I did forget blade exists.
Listen, the AP Callisto will go so stupid. I mean, it makes sense that he went the way that he went. I'm not gonna be too upset about it.
They got a Sion and a Skana and an Alistair. Yeah, it's not a bad shout.
Exactly. Angel continuing to get some push up here, trying to get as much gold in the pocket as he can. Up 1.6k right now. And while the first game may have been XQW's, it looks like game 2 could be Angels, but LGD, again, you know, we mentioned their comp is very good at one thing, that is eliminating one target. And all that means is that Angel's got to be the target. His flash is down, so I do wonder if they'll try to exploit that soon. We do have 1 minute and 40 seconds until the Herald, so LGD could just elect to wait until the Herald to try to go for another fight, but they really should be doing this before everybody gets their feet set.
I think I would note that it's not specifically about, like, we have to get rid of one person like a dive comp. It's kind of, we just have all this AoE, all this wombo, and if it doesn't kill anyone, that's a problem. But if we can kill one guy, we can probably, we're strong enough to take the rest of the 5v4. And yeah, if we're going to have to take someone out right now, it's looking like Angel, because it's not going to be one of the tanks. And Kai'Sa a little slippery, and also shouldn't really be in position to get hit by any of that, because your Kai'Sa with 3 tanks, you can sit 12 miles away, and when the fight starts, you'll be in range, courtesy of your ultimate ability. So it is kind of always going to have to be Angel, but there's opportunities to mix in there, right? If you are the Aurora, you can switch it up, because you have your dashes, your stealth, and the ults to just snap across various sides of the fight, so you can try some little baits in there. I don't know if... It's probably not quick enough. Okay, here's my theory. You're playing Aurora. You get ulted by Vi. You flash away. Ult. Can you snap to the other side of your ult in time before getting hit by the Vi to drop the tether when you go on target?
I have no idea.
Is that an option?
Maybe we'll find out.
You would get hit by the Galio ult immediately anyway, but there could be a generational, and I don't use that word lightly.
Handshake, wait. Savior. Oh! Hold on. Whoa. Savior manages to get over the wall on Barrius. Barely a sliver of HP going all the way deep. They're going in for the Kai'Sa, and Sasa and Climber get the job done. Meanwhile, over the side, Savior trying to stay alive, but Xiaohao going to look to chase him down. XQW the big taunt, but Angel over the wall will take him out. Over on the other side, they chop up that Alistar. It's a 4v3. Sasa getting 2 kills for LGD.
And this is massive. Okay, it's a bit keen from Savior, but from the last Kai'Sa we saw today, he's not even the Kai'Sa, but I would like to see us going keen. But the major point there is, yes, Sasi, just untouched, gets 2 kills off that as well. And we're seeing what the Ambessa can do when left alone. And I didn't think that this was a comp that we'd see taking a split fight like that. It's not really the vibe. But if Sasi can't 1v5, pretty confidently 1v2, 2v2, 2v3, like, there are options there, because this engage, it looks okay. I kind of thought Savior was just going to be able to flash over the, or not flash, but to jump over the wall. Even if he had, sick flash from Parukia to be able to knock up on both sides of the wall. Lovely little bit of an option select there. Savior does unfortunately stay alive, but, I said that Arn can sit 5 miles away from the team, because you have this kind of engage you can ult in, and that's exactly what he does, but spoilers, he's 5 miles away from the team, and just gets completely comboed on in, and it all goes downhill very, very quickly for him. And without that, the Aurora's a bit too far away. You've lost your main damage. The fight's really split. When you have tanks, you don't want a split fight. You want everyone fighting around the tank so that Aurora can dish out some AoE, and that is not what happened there.
One thing to note is that because Angel didn't really get in that fight, his flash is still up compared to many flashless members over on the side of LGD, so we'll be able to avoid out on a public execution if it comes down to it. This Herald is up and has been up for a little bit, and we can start to see the teams really congregate around it. ZDZ the first one walking up the river here, Sasa giving chase. But ZDZ, even by virtue of his ultimate, will be the one to get there first. Herald has been started up. We're going to see XQW take a back here. Go grab an item. He doesn't have his ultimate up yet either. Right now it's just being done by Skarner, and it's quite slow.
That's crazy. I think that, the Hollow Radiance is not going to be the difference maker in this fight. And sure, he's back now, but the Herald's already halfway gone. Climber has to get in there. He's too far away.
Well, do they fancy a fight here is the question. Climber goes in. Gonna go target out this priority target. Take him down. There's the impale too. Everybody stunned. On gets to the back line here, but guess what? LGD, they're on the back line because it's all them, and ripping through with the Herald is Xiaohao as he will run away, and LGD just completely rip EDG apart.
Okay, we have to be a little careful here. Make sure we get the turret mid. No one's contesting it. That's fine, because that Herald is eventually going to get the turret bot, and we don't want to give up first blood turret after having just won that fight. And so close are the feats now. The next kill will decide them, as we have 2 kills apiece for each. The next objective will decide it. 2 apiece for each squad. But again, goat fight. Savior is completely untouched on this one. And it shows. You can see that blade putting out so much damage. Aurora is the focus. That's the point of having a Vi into Vi version 2, aka Ambessa. And there's just nothing that can be done. You're just out of the fight entirely. It looks good when the big Skarner ult comes on through and you have knockups as well, but the damage just isn't quite there. And we split up slightly, and that means that Arn is now left alone. I don't really know what Xiaohao's doing getting into the Herald, but I don't think there was a lot he could do to save the team as well. And you can see it there. Also, he's got 35 stacks on the Heartsteel, so he's not been able to get those autos that he so desperately wanted. And it's going very wrong very quick, as Sasi is just so massive on the Ambessa. 2 items now, 15 minutes. Yeah, might be relatively far along to that third. And it's the Shodan as well. I think that's a pretty snowbally second item to be picking up in a comp game. You know, it's usually going to be a Black Cleaver or something to help you stay a little bit alive. He's saying, no, give me cooldowns, give me damage, give me opportunities to proc the Eclipse and my shields, and we'll take it from there, because right now no one can really touch him.
He's so strong right now, and Angel flashless, that means the next fight. Guess what, buddy? You are the one who's getting targeted. Otacon up in 35 seconds. It would be very odd to see that Otacon would be the big decider for feats this late in the game, but who knows? It could be the Dragon. The Dragon is trailing the Otacon. That's coming up in about a minute. We do see a lot of members of LGD up on this top side. They have about a 1,500 gold lead, and you know, EDG, it just feels like this team, they're leaking oil as the season is starting to wind down. Their last couple of series now, they've dropped at least one game, and you know, they did have their match that they dropped to NIP. No shame in that because of how good NIP has been down here in Nirvana, but if you drop to LGD, all of a sudden you got to start hitting panic buttons.
Well, they look good if you ask me, but we got to lock in right now because... Oh, yeah, I mean, the thing is, we have Drakes coming up, right? We have Drake coming up and Atacon coming up. I'm kind of hoping that no one just sneaks a Drake here. That's going to decide feats. In my head, there's now a big fight around Atacon, huge team fight. Team gets the Atacon, they get the feats, they win the fight, they get 2 massive buffs at the same time, and they win a team fight. It's huge. And so in a relatively close game, all things considered, this is the sort of the big moment, provided that nobody sneaks the Drake. And it looks like we're all cowards because a lot of people are moving on down towards that Drake, but it could still be the same. If you overcommit for this Drake, because you don't want to lose feats, you take a bad fight, you get wiped, and sure, you got feats, but now you've given over Atacon, which I think is more valuable. So we'll keep an eye on this as everyone makes their way on down here.
All right.
Sasi, okay, crucially, Climber got a second item. I wanted to see the items to see who hit their spikes in time.
Climber's going to get spotted.
We haven't got time for that.
Climber's
He's far
gonna
away.
Get spotted here.
He's
Angel
too far.
marks him. Not able to actually get in there. The hostile takeover, though. It hits everybody. We're not on the backline, but not on the priority targets. But On getting chopped down. Angel targeted out. And he is in trouble trying to go between worlds. And he's stuck. He finally does. But On dies on the backside. Sasa and everybody else chopping him up once again. LGD lose the Dragon, but they win the fight big time.
Can they turn that into Atacon? They've lost the feats. Is it exactly as described? Where EDG get too confident, they're too committed, they say, oh, we have to really get this Drake. We all hug one wall and just get wiped by a Renata ult into wombo combo. Because a lot of people are moving up to that top side, but a TP's bot.
Xiaohao is just done. He's, yeah, you can't live through that. Now Angel, that teleport going to be a complete waste here. We see Otacon being done on the top side too. I mean, LGD just overwhelmingly winning that play now.
EDG crumbling right now under this here pressure. There's too much going on with the Drake. Xiaohao's getting caught. The 1v2. Angel's wasting a TP. We saved the turret, but Atacon is picked up. That's a lot of XP coming on through to the team with those petals being picked up, and of course the big team fight buff. So let's look at Climber is miles away. I think there's a world where Climber, you have to have very good awareness to know this, but he says he sacks it and just goes for Angel instead, but it doesn't matter. The team fight is much too strong. I'm pretty sure I just saw Vigor get cancelled by something. I'm not too sure, but once that Renata ult comes on through, the fight is split. Again, EDG are just running kind of because they have to, but this is not a team that does well at running away. You know, you have 3 tanks. Aurora likes to run away. Kai'Sa can do it a bit, but the rest of them are pretty useless in that situation. And so once the fight turns around, once LGD have momentum, it is over. And I was saying before, the whole point of this comp is that LGD don't have enough damage when they go in unless Ambessa was ahead. Well, Ambessa is ahead, now other members are, so they have enough damage when they go in, and that's terrifying, because for EDG, there was a world at some points in this game where you could just tank the combo and then see what you could get done. This is not an option anymore as a sweeper.
Oh, no.
Parukia, I don't know.
What's a Parukia doing on Route 3, bro?
How do you get there?
What's a what? No. Like, bro should not have been there. I respect the fact that you're not the randomizer. LGD understanding the assignment here, grouping around Sasa. He's going to miss his ultimate, though. YCX getting tagged and blown up immediately, but they're just diving anyway. Galley ultimate coming through, trying to keep him upright. Sasa taking too many turret shots. He's going to try to get out. Trying to dodge out of the side. Side of flash after him. The shields are too strong. The rest of the team are there to escort him out. LGD over dive, but it don't matter because they're going to be able to take down the Scion anyway. They're going to find Angel too, and Parukia all of a sudden just left alone. Redemption heal gonna come through because the corpse of Renata is there. And it's gonna be nice and easy here as Parukia turned into a bit of a pin cushion. Nice job waiting out the queue, but Climber, all right, listen, Parukia put the moves on him, all right? He double teamed.
He's right there. Oh no, a true horror. But I get that's the terror of I mean, yeah, we just walk in, right? But the Ambessa are terrifying. We've missed the ult entirely. It does not matter. We can just combo onto people, and as in now, and we have actual items coming out from the Callista, so there's damage there. This is just crazy from Sasi that...
He's still alive!
I was saying, like, you know, you play off the items with the Eclipse and her own, like, shielding as well. But usually there's like a Sunderer in here or something, maybe.
Oh,
that's why I thought it was keen for Sasi to get the Shojin, but no, he just has it like that. He doesn't need the defensive item. He just stay in the fight.
Oh, Pay, I got so depressed. I just watched Parukia kill his mid laner in that last replay. I was trying to figure out how Savior got over the wall. Well, it's because Parukia delivered him right there. Baron gonna be done here by LGD. Uncontested completely. Now EDG gonna try to do what they can to maybe take one turret, but a quick rotation by LGD, a teleport coming over means that EDG really have nowhere to go, and with this dragon coming up, I mean, LGD are more than happy to fight.
See if we can have a little crack at this one. I don't think EDG want the fight, though. I think the Drake might just be handed on over, and with Baron resets, plenty of time for various members to go and you know, get involved. And you see there, yeah, that they don't want it at all. Angel was just teleporting up to top to see if we can maybe crash one wave in time to get that turret. They know the top turret and that bottom tier 2 are the targets, to say, okay, I'm just going to TP quickly, push out a wave so it's not there to get empowered by the Baron. We'll get the second one here as well. That's going to buy 30 seconds, 40 seconds, and hopefully get a objective to get the bounty as well. But my god, it's, oh no, it's not looking good for Rafa. But is Angel going to get the bounty?
Bro.
He is.
Oh man, well, who knows? Maybe they can still do it. Maybe they can still win this game. I don't think so. But Rafa's got to have the finest copium they can find in his neck of the woods, because his boys are getting beat down pretty badly. As LGD gonna shove it down mid lane with their Baroned up minions. Looking to go take out this inhibitor. Parukia is showing up to the party. 4-man knockup.
What are we doing?
Knockup's there too, but they don't have any damage either. Hostile takeover hitting so many, and it opened the door. All clear to take out on. Parukia goes down next, and another 2-man advantage for LGD.
Why are we engaging before Angel's back? I thought the plan was just to give up the inhib. Like Angel takes it, you're going to lose it anyway. Angel can get an advantage, but then they just go in without their major carry. Now Angel has good damage here. Health bars are low, but Arn isn't around. You see, if Angel gets some good poke with the W, maybe there's something happening. If Sasi oversteps,
falling. All right, we're going in with Galio here. Taut's gonna go down.
Angel hit someone.
Sasa on to Angel. Oh, flash Q. Angel's dead. Final Nexus turret falling, and that is EDG
Big passive.
falling. They have run out of oil. Gotta send this car back to the shop. LGD, a big upset here to lock 3rd place.
Could not Jaio here today. Wasn't gonna come on through. Excellent showing from LGD, and again, terrifying that is a team that is 4-4. You know, playing against this team here, who is now 7-2. As it was just a strong showing. It's just what you need. Great. That's the first time that I've seen an Ambessa do well. Admittedly, you know, I've been gone, but we understood the assignment, and again, the knife's edge of of this team working was so thin, but they did what they needed to do. They got the Ambessa head, we got gold up on there. Once everyone else starts getting their items, Ambessa's carried them across the finish line. She didn't really need to be involved after that, but just stuck around because she was still going. It was crazy. And I like when a team has a very specific way to win a comp and they play to it, you know, because a lot of times, again, working on lower leagues or whatnot, you'll see a team do this where they go, oh yeah, Galio goes in, Vi goes in, Ambessa goes in, like, this is a good comp, and they haven't fully clocked for, like, this works with like a 1% margin, but you have to really make sure that you keep yourself in a position to stay over that line, and that's what LGD managed to do, and you just love to see it. It's just quality League of Legends.
It really was. And, you know, after that first fight, it was a little weird, but then when the dust settled, you're like, all right, well, it's going to be Angel versus Sasa. See what Angel can do, because generally speaking, at that point in the game, a little bit more damage that comes out from Aurora, but those fights afterward, I mean, that fight over at the Herald, when they recognized we must kill Angel, take him out, claim his bounty, and the rest of the team will collapse around him because their 4-kill member will be dead, and our 3-kill member is going to eat them alive. And that's exactly what happened. It was precision in these team fights. Yes, it's a little easy when you have a Vi ultimate, it's a point and click, right? But they chose the proper targets. They recognized when, hey, this guy's got summoners down, let's go focus him out. They quickly turned away their focus from AD carry to mid, and they said, we know who we need to kill this game. Paid off in spades. And you know what? They played on sides pretty well too. I must admit. I think they grouped up very efficiently and determined when it was time to hit the go button. I wasn't a big fan of that play at the tier 2 turret in the bottom lane. I think that would have been an opportunity for them to throw the game, but they were a little too far ahead and had a little bit too much bulk to them for that turret to actually make a difference.
I mean, yeah, what could EDG have done in those situations to get out? The fights were a bit split up. A lot of the fights were around like a big object, like a rock or something that's just in the way. That's not great. But I feel like we didn't really see a lot of proactivity from EDG early on. And hey, I'm not the GOAT. I mean, I am, but you know, I'm just a humble man over here.
Sure.
I had a pretty good read on what the situation needed to be for for EDG. I was like, for LGD. So
you're right.
I wonder, like, why did EDG recognize this? Is this something we need to look into? That the biggest strength that you can have in League, and this is the thing that like was separating so many top the tippy top Korean teams and SKT was, so there's knowing what your team like actually needs to do, and that is harder than it sounds. But then there's knowing what your opponents need to do. And that's also pretty tricky. It sounds complicated. It sounds easy, but there's layers to it. But then there's sort of acting off that information and slightly as well reacting to how they're going to work off what you want to do. And it's hard. But to be like, okay, these guys want to get the Ambessa. Okay, these guys, they have the wombo, but the only way to get it over the line is with Ambessa. And then to think, okay, what are they going to do to enable that? And what do we do in response to that thing that is presumably going to happen at some point? Because we didn't really see EDG do that, right? Ambessa was allowed to sort of get some kills, get some money, and likewise, like, we didn't punish the relatively weak, the Vi is susceptible to invades. There's something we could have done if we see it coming. We didn't have too much of a play off of the lane swaps. Could we have tried to just dive Ambessa before she got gold, before she got kills? Maybe, but I don't know. It just sort of didn't happen. EDG played it normal, and LGD got what they wanted.
Yeah, it was a very well executed series by LGD, and in this game especially. I mean, yeah, some of these fights, like right here, it's like, okay, Ambessa wasn't in range. This is where we were like, maybe LGD can't pull this together, right? Maybe they don't have it in them to play the sort of composition. The rest of the fight, incredibly sloppy, but hey, we've talked about it. They got their kills on Sasa, and then in fights after that, that's when they realized, hey man, this guy can go ahead and hard carry the game.
Yeah, the thing is, EDG got what they wanted here. Bit of an issue, I think, that Arn's ulting in there, and it's like, they're on 1 HP. They might die to some random like Skarner passive dot, or just like the pop of an aftershock. But because Arn ults in, now he's in danger, and he ends up going down. maybe that fight is a clean 5-0 or 5-1, whatever it would have been, if you just trust that the boys are going to finish that kill, and then Unc can actually keep dishing out damage, because it was pretty good for EDG, but there's a world where that was, that opened up a whole game plan for them. But instead, we got this,
Yeah, a lot of these fights were, taking a look at it, really chaotic. I mean, it was a max range, a public execution that really did it. I mean, this was the fight that really turned it around. It was perfect because Angel could not use Between Worlds to get anywhere else. They caught him right on the edge, and it was perfect. Yeah, Skarner's going to go ride the Rift Herald, bro. Yeah, okay, man, cool. You knocked a couple members up and did a little bit of damage, but you gotta get the heck out of Dodge at that point, and it was too late. And another good hostile takeover. We didn't really talk too much about our wonderful support, YCX. YCX, and he did run out of things this game. There was a couple of really nice hostile takeovers, a couple that weren't so great, but that one was good.
Yeah, most of them got the job done. Some of them, like this one, a bit unnecessary, but it gets it done. We should note that, EDG did have the same kind of problem that... This was crazy. Because I should note that Sasi does not have... I'm pretty sure it's just a Hex Drinker in this. It's not the Maw, even though you saw the purple shield. So there's not like the Omnivamp coming out or anything. He's just sticking in. I don't think he still had the healing from the ult either. But what I was going to say... That was the reaction, to be fair. They have the same issue of you have 3 tanks, and you actually need someone to do the damage. But do you think with Aurora and Kai'Sa, their damage is not as conditional as EDG or LGD had to hit the combo. EDG didn't. You can just have someone hitting one person, just taking pot shots whenever. But they couldn't even find that, and that's truly a horror. As you saw in those fights where if Aurora goes down early or Arn is out, it's like, oh, we have Sion and Skarner just hanging around, and they'd get it done eventually, in theory, were they not against a Blade and Ambessa and all that.
Yeah, and speaking of this Ambessa, I think it's got to go to Sasa, right?
Yeah, to be, surely.
Could you give the MVP to anybody else? I mean, sure, Climber's target selection was solid, but listen, you had the damage. You're the guy, bro. Yep, give it to him. Well-deserved. 9-1-10. Absolutely destroying EDG, cutting them up like tissue paper, like ribbon, whatever you want to call it. Just absolutely dominating these guys.
That's sick as well. Good. So 86% kill participation for your top laner. The guy who's laning against the Sion is meant to be in side lane, and also that was 28% damage share. And you think again, okay, you're against the Sion, so maybe you're bumping the numbers up a bit by scrapping, but on average, it should be somewhere between 20 and 25, because supports don't count.
Yeah, something like that. But
actually, no. I take it back. Your team was Galio and Vi and Renata. That should have been 40%. I take it back. He actually washed.
He had a large share. Okay, you give him no credit. One thing that we can do.
Too smaller share.
One thing that we can do is we can give credit to the teams that won today. IG improving to 8-3, sitting in third. LGD now confirmed for third. Now going 5-4. The interesting thing about IG is, if I'm doing my math correctly, now you don't ask casters to ever do math on cast, but they're +9 right now. So if they lose their next 3, 0-2, and fall to 17-14, they'd be +3. And if Weibo 6-0'd their next 3, they would be sitting at 18-16. Which would mean that IG is still ahead of Weibo. So IG, with this victory, has locked top 4 if the math checks out. And I believe the math does check out.
I'll trust you. I'm not going to look too...
You should. I'm a genius. I'm the super genius here. Nobody understands. But I am. And, I'm glad that I was able to enlighten you. And one thing that we always got to do...
Is there anyone else? Is there anyone else who you should give credit to?
Oh, absolutely I should give credit to them. You know who they are? They're Elite Coffee supporters. Aaron Soup, Mong, Forest Without, owners of a Silmaril. Their pledged financial contributions help level up the broadcast and get back to the cast and crew who strive to give you an English LPL product every single day. Docda, thank you for being here with us today. Any final thoughts on the day?
I had a great time. I want to see more of these games. This was a fun experience. Yippee! It's been a couple months in the works, but my schedule has cleared up, and I'm ready to grind.
We got you on there, buddy. Thank you for coming up and hanging out with us here today. Well, that'll do it for us here, and we will be back tomorrow. We always have more action going on in the LPL. It's one of our Super Saturdays. It's LNG and Thunder Talk. Kicking things off, myself and Bloxer will be on the call for that. And then later on, we got Team WE versus Top Esports. And then rounding out the day, Weibo Gaming versus IG. But that's it for us here on the LPL English channel. For myself, for my co-caster Docda, for Kelsey Moser behind the glass, coming in on short notice, and the entire LPL English